Praise the Lord. We thank God for blessing us to assemble again. Most High God. Thank the Lord for his mercies. Thank the Lord for strengthening us in spirit and everything to continue in faith. Saints of God are going to go through. But you know what? The Lord told us these things we're going to go through stuff, but one thing about it, the Lord is going ahead of us, which that's what we need. We need the Lord to go ahead of us on our journey and things be worked out when we get there. So we're going to go through sufferings. You know, it ain't going to be an easy walk. We was working on some stuff at the last meeting. It's coming out of Exodus, I believe, about what the Lord was sending Moses back into Egypt. And what his instruction was to go back into Egypt and make a mighty call, you know, a mighty assembly to come out. Those that would obey the voice of the Lord will be blessed in that. But then they'll find there were some that still rather would stay in that situation. So that's one thing about it. Even nowadays, even more people would rather settle for what they see out here. And these things are, and most people can attest to that these things are failing right in front of people's eyes. You know, people still some kind of way want to stay in that stuff and try to make it work. And, you know, the Lord already, it's a sinking ship. And once the Lord has already established that, so the only remedy that the Lord has provided through the death of his son, the resurrection of his son, for people to make a haven to get out of the situations or whatever. But you know what, it's a thing where the Lord is not going to force anybody. So the Lord is, that the fruit of the Spirit is one of the fruits is being the gentleness of the Lord. God ain't going to force nobody's hand.
Right.
So, but the answer has already been set, what the Lord has set up for everybody to obey. And you see nowadays what we're dealing with. Nevertheless, there is a remnant. You know, somebody's going to obey the Lord. Somebody.
Yes, sir.
See, so we thank the Lord for establishing what it is to walk in, and we find when we do that, we obey the Lord. When the Lord get ready, there's every promise that He promised in the covenant. See, the thing is, what people got to understand, we got to be in covenant with the Lord in order for the Lord to make provisions. See, it's not a thing, you know, agreement or covenant is something that, okay, the person that sets the covenant in place is going to do certain things. The person that's receiving and coming into agreement with that covenant has got to do certain things. And that's how it works. It's hand in hand. It's not a thing where one side is going to do everything, the other side ain't doing it. That ain't going to work.
Right.
See, that's why I say a lot of times people, we fail to understand that but what we have tapped into, the Lord blessed us to tap into, is a far greater covenant than it was in the old times. So this is the greatest thing that ever came to mankind. The greatest thing. I don't care what your business is, what you're doing in this world, how much accomplished you done accomplished. And done got some things done down here, and it's all gonna fade away. There's nothing greater than the covenant.
Come on.
That the Lord has set up through the death of his son for everybody to comply. So, you know, people, you know, I see people out here wholeheartedly doing things, you know, and have some successes in what they're doing. And as far as that's their measure of success. You know, they measure it by what they've accomplished in this world, and their possessions and things like that. That's how they measure whether they've been successful, whether they got a nice house over here on Sunset Boulevard, whatever, nice few cars, whatever car you want to get. That's how the world measures success. See, but the world's measure is not how the Lord deals with success. So success, and I remember a parable the Lord had said back in the Gospels when our Savior, and that's what we always say, we're not going to condemn anybody. We've already covered that in the other meetings about what the Lord's correct name is. We're going to walk in what we come to understand and be, and getting the right information. The Lord bless us to tap into getting an understanding of what the Lord, the Son's name, his rightful name, what it was. We understand that these empires have done mighty damage to the truth. That was already recorded in the scriptures in Daniel and other prophets, that these days was coming. Nevertheless, the Lord is restoring. So I remember a parable the Lord was talking about a certain man who's basically had success, as far as, just like you had a business or something, or a corporation or whatever, and it was flourishing. So this particular person in the parable they gave, he said, okay, well, said his business was prospering and everything, so his reply to that was to build more bonds, you know what I'm saying, and stock it on up. So that was his plan was, okay, well, this is prospering, okay, let's get more, like these corporations out here, we're gonna dominate the whole planet, that's how they look at it.
That's how you look at it.
So, but the thing is, then the Lord answered the reply to that particular individual and said, he called him a fool because this night your soul is required of you, and then whose shall it be? And all that stuff you don't acquire, whose is going to be? Somebody else is going to get it, and they're going to disperse. Most of the time it'll be somebody you probably didn't want to get their hands on it, and they're going to go through it just like as if you didn't do all that labor to get it done, to build it up to where it was. Somebody come down and tear it down overnight.
Come on.
And so the Lord said, so shall it be to anybody who is not rich. The rich in this world are not rich toward God.
Come on.
Toward the Most High. See, we got to be rich toward the Most High, and the only way we can do that is, number one, we got to repent and believe the gospel.
That's it.
It goes back to the basics on that. So we got to be rich toward God. Now we can get some things accomplished. Ain't nothing wrong with getting some stuff done down here. We already understand, just like Paul, the apostle, told the Corinthians, when he was addressing things about marriage and everything, he told them, he said, well, the way we got to look at this is, we got use the things of this world, not abusing them. We understand these things are going away, so ain't no need to get caught up in it. There's no need, nothing wrong with get some successes done. There's some things you want to get accomplished. There's nothing wrong with that, but we got to still understand, keep it in perspective that this world and the fashion of this world is passing away.
Come on.
So he that do the will is what is going to abide forever, see. So we got to keep in that perspective. We can get some stuff done, get some stuff accomplished. We can't get caught up in this stuff like you see people in the world. That's all they think about. And they ain't worried about the soul or anything. And they can leave this world, all that stuff they done. And people see it every day, close their eyes to it because they don't want the realities of what's going on. You can be a successful actor and all this stuff, and then you leave this world, all the work you done, somebody else is still looking at you on TV, you didn't go.
Come on. That's what's happening.
See, you can sing your albums and stuff you make and hit gold, platinum, and everything else. Done sold 40 million copies, all that, or whatever you want to say. But after you leave this world, you ain't gonna know what's going on with that. It's just gonna be left behind, and people are still listening to your music. You didn't go.
That's it. That's it.
So we say ain't nothing wrong with getting some things accomplished, but we're just saying keeping it in perspective. You know, we just passing through, just like James will tell us in the scriptures. Say our life is even as a vapor, so which appears for a while and after that vanishes away. So that's how it is.
Yes, sir.
So ain't no need to get caught up. The Lord gonna bless, you know, our going in and coming out just like He did with the Israelites in the Old Testament. But we are under the greater covenant. See, and it says in the scriptures that it's the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. See? So we ain't, like I said, we're gonna go through some stuff. Like I said, but the Lord will bless. I believe in one scriptures it says, "We have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is pitiful and of tender mercies toward His people."
Good.
See, He's pitiful toward not pitying as far as, you know, not in that respect, like we might know pity, but it's meaning that God will have compassion on His people. You know, you go through, you're going to suffer some stuff. But He said the end of Job was greater than his beginning. See?
That's right.
So we look at that pattern. The Lord will look out. And David, I like how David said a lot of times, he said the Lord won't hold His anger forever. If the Lord is disciplining us about whatever it might be, but the Lord said it ain't like some of us be holding anger forever.
That's right. That's right.
And then if somebody mentioned that situation, the anger stirs right back up again.
Goodness.
See? But the Lord is not. We understand, and those that can attest and know what we're talking about, that the Lord doesn't, you know, get rekindled about a situation. If the Lord was dealing with us to deal with a situation, get it resolved, repent, or whatever we got to do, and go forward. It's not like the Lord going to bring it back up.
That's right.
We're dealing with the Heavenly Father. See, a lot of times the only thing we can compare of is what we see down here, which a lot of times is already flawed. Mm-hmm. It's already marred. We're looking at, you know, our earthly fathers and things, those that have had fathers in their lives. That's the way we kind of pattern God, but it's really, even though man is in God's image, but as far as God's character, a lot of this stuff down here is flawed.
Come on here. Come on here.
See, so we really can't look at that and say, well, man, God must be like that. No, because, matter of fact, God is way more than that. So, and a lot of times, we ain't going to find it out until we get in the Lord and start getting some experiences from the Lord for ourselves. And then we'll know. Other than that, we just going by what somebody told us.
That's it.
You know, you hear some swelling, burning testimonies of people that have had dealings with the Lord, experiences with the Lord. And you can't persuade them otherwise because they know. You know, once you know, you know.
That's it.
You done experience the Lord and know how the Lord deal with you on this. See God come through for you when it didn't seem like there was no way.
Come on.
You know within yourself. See, that's your testimony. That and that didn't happen overnight. Like I said, it's a thing. You know, faith walk with the Lord, like everybody has. But once you start seeing how the Lord come through and how the Lord deal with you on this situation, that situation,
Oh yeah.
and then you will know within yourself. It's like, well, that's how the Lord deals. That's how it is.
Yes, sir.
So, and we're going through some things now. The Lord have came through. I had to suffer some stuff.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of times, I know like everybody else, nobody wants to go through stuff, man. I don't feel like dealing with this. But see, there's a reason for everything. A lot of times, we got to be developed in the situation as well. You know, we get opposition. Nobody wants opposition. Everybody wants, just like they say, the least path of resistance.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Everybody don't want no, you know, confrontation. We don't want to deal with nobody getting in your face and giving you opposition and you trying to get to a certain place and somebody's in your way.
Lord help us.
We don't feel like dealing with that, man. I don't feel like dealing with wanting to bypass and detour the hard places.
You want to grow that way.
Yeah, see, exactly. See, somebody understand in the, somebody was telling me about some birds, like certain birds, like if you aid in any way, like the bird has to get out of that shell, he's got to peck his way out. And some wisdom behind that is that they're developing their muscles while they're pecking, and if you interfere with the process, the bird is not going to live.
Goodness.
See, yes, sir. So that's telling us, see, a lot of times, you see people, some parents and things where, they got children and whatnot, they just I can't let that happen to them, this and this. But a lot of times, you interfere in the process, it's going to hinder, most times will spoil the person to where they're going to not be developing, not learn some things, to be able to survive out here, you be defeated. So it's that's the way the world is, it's the way it is. So we, as believers in the Lord, we're going to go through, but and going through, just like the Lord said, after you have suffered a while, that He will strengthen, establish, settle you, and all that.
Yes, sir.
After you have suffered a while. See, a lot of times we don't want to go through. Man, I don't feel like dealing with this, man. Not today. Not tomorrow either. That's what we say.
It's the cakewalk.
Yes, sir. We want easy street, Sunset Boulevard. That's what we want. Yes, sir. Said, back when we was coming up, said, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? They said, that's what we want to do. See, but the Lord has got a way, and I looked at how the Israelites, when they came out of Egypt, see, that's the first step, like I said, to be rich toward God, is to come out of sin, and repent and believe the gospel. So once they did that, then we find that there were certain wildernesses that they had to go through. See, so that's telling us you got to go the way. In this particular, when they built the ark, the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, and a lot of times they had to pitch tent in certain territories, and then when the Lord got ready for them to move from that particular territory, then the priests would have to take up the ark, and then they was ready to move and go to wherever the next wilderness or test would be. And see, that's the way it is. See, we want to go easy street. We want to say, oh man, I want a nice house over here. I want this, that's nasty. We want to be sitting back chilling.
Yes, sir. There's no power in that.
Right. See, so then when it don't happen like we want, then, and you see like the Israelites were complaining and were saying that they wish they had died under the hand of Pharaoh. See, a lot of them say that it might not have been saying it verbally, but in their heart, they turned back. The scripture said they turned back in their heart to Egypt, see, because they didn't want to deal with the way the Lord was directing them to go. See, people don't want to deal, and it's just like it is now. People don't want to deal with all that. Man, I ain't got time for all that. You got these churches, people flocking to them left and right because they telling them what they want to hear.
That's it.
See, yeah, this, and oh yeah, people flocking, breaking the door down, getting in there. When it come down to the Lord, see, those that know and how the Lord deals, you can ask the Lord something. And you got to wait for the Lord to answer. A lot of times it ain't no, some people say, well, I felt in my spirit. Well, it ain't nothing about how you feel. You better get an answer from the Lord.
Yes, sir.
See, one day I can feel a certain way. The next day I can feel a whole different way.
That's it.
See, I can't go by that. If you waiting for the Lord to answer you on a certain thing, you got to wait to hear from the Most High. See, and so like I said, the Lord hears the prayers. It don't necessarily mean He's going to answer you in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
See, a lot of times people got that mentality. Everybody on the internet, websites and all this, instantaneous answers, and all this stuff's going on. And people and then they take that mindset and try to approach God like that. It don't happen.
It won't happen now, especially.
See, we got to hang in there with the Lord. The brothers here, we can attest stuff we go through. So, man, I don't feel like dealing with it. And day after day, it's like, man, it's got to be a remedy.
You're going to fall sometimes.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, we just talking today, kind of talking, encouraging and whatnot, those that are listening in by way of internet. Thank all of you tuning in the YouTube channel, Disciples of Christ, of the Lord Jesus Christ Christian Church. We going through now, a lot of times say the Lord could be testing you in a certain way. So he's like, man, is you gonna hold on to what the Lord has said? If God said, you know, if you got ministry work to do, then sit tight, go on and be doing it.
Yes,
A
sir.
lot of time we get discouraged by what we see and stuff ain't happening fast enough. So then we just lose heart, you know, and just digress. But see, a lot of times that could be a test.
Yes, sir.
See, but the Lord has said a certain thing, and said, okay, then when you see the Lord bring it to pass, see, a lot of times, like the scripture says, I believe it's Habakkuk, when it said, concerning the visions that he saw, and a lot of times, if the Lord may have told you something, and it don't look like it's being fulfilled right then. So we're like, man, I don't see nothing. The Lord said this and this and this, I don't see nothing. See, we're looking all out there and all this. You know, I don't see nothing. See, but it ain't about that. He said, you know, like Paul said, the apostle said, we don't walk by faith. We walk by faith, but we don't walk by sight, what we're seeing. And even though, like he been said in Habakkuk, the prophet Habakkuk said, that though the vision tarry, wait for it. See, and that's concerning anything the Lord told you. You know the Lord told you something. And he said, at the end it shall speak and not lie. See, the Lord has got the power to bring it to pass at any time. See, I had the Lord told me something like in 97. I was going to culinary school. The Lord told me through a prophet, said I was going to be a chef and have my own business. And that was way back in 1997. Now, since then, it's been a whole lot of going through, getting off the path, being disobedient, all that stuff.
Yes,
See, which can seriously hinder your blessing. But at the same time, the Lord is still able to bring it to pass what the Lord spoke. And that could be at any time. You know, you could just because we go through a period of 10, 15 years, we figure, man, the Lord never forgot about that. No, he ain't forgot nothing.
Yes, sir. It's patience, brother.
That's it. See, in the meantime, we still should be carrying on, like, you know, and hoping, you know, because it says faith is the substance of things hoped for. See, you ain't got it, but you hoping for it. See, that's where your faith has to get stable at. And we hoping for something. So the faith is keeping us going. We're staying encouraged. We're looking, expecting, however long it may take when that vision come to pass. Just like you said, Habakkuk, at the end it shall speak and not lie. See, that's what the Lord told him concerning visions. The Lord done told you something. He might have told you you're going to have a business or whatever he might have told you. We got to hold on to the promise. And the Lord told us, just like he told Abraham and Sarah. You know, he said, the scripture said, Romans said, against hope, believe in hope. So they looked, like say, he looked at the situation, it was dead. There ain't no way. See now, the Lord, then he said, the Lord had to tell him, is anything too hard for the Lord? See?
No, sir.
See, and we got to know within ourselves that it ain't nothing. So we can't just go by what somebody said that, oh, I heard people say all the time, there ain't nothing too hard for the Lord. Yeah. But you got to believe that within yourself.
Come on.
That it ain't nothing too hard for the Lord. You can't just go by what somebody said. See, that's the thing. See, once you know that it ain't nothing too hard for the Lord. But the only way to know that, you got to be tested. All right? So that means you might have to believe when it don't seem like there's no room or even no way to believe. You got to still believe the Lord.
Come on, yeah. Come on.
See, and then if you go through that, it's the only ways you're going to know that it ain't nothing too hard for the Lord. After you done been tested in that area, so okay, this situation looks hopeless, whatever it might be, you might be believing God or whatever, and the Lord might have told you something. You might have had some illness in the family or whatever. Somebody was down and out, and you prayed or whatever, interceded, and heard from the Lord, about the situation. We got to believe what the Lord said. It may not look like that when you look at the present situation and what the Lord said. See, that's where the test comes in. It's like, man, then you look at the situation like, man, oh man, it's hopeless. See, you already done started down.
Already.
See, that's what we're talking about today. We're just talking today, just talking to believers and saints and everything. But, that's what I say. Stuff is a test. The Lord told me some things. See, we got to believe. See, remember one passage in the Gospels where the Lord had healed some servants. And it said, he told them to go to a certain, I think one of them said he go wash in the pool of Siloam and stuff, which means sent. So in one instance, he sent some people and told them to go to a certain place. And then the scripture said, as they went, they were healed. See, and that's the thing is, see, we got to, your belief is going to cause you to, go in the forward motion. You're going to still be expecting. You're going to still be doing what you're going to do. But your faith is where it's going to have you to, cause you to respond in a certain way, concerning what the Lord says. So that's what we're talking about. See, so said as they went, they were healed. See, and that's the thing, a lot of times with us, the Lord done told us to go. And a lot of times you'll find your deliverance is in what the Lord has told you. Once you find yourself doing what the Lord said do, you find the deliverances as you go. A lot of times it ain't going to be up front. People want to get it up front. Say, man, if somebody got $1,000 for me, I want it up front. That's right. We ain't trying to wait no 21 and all this stuff. People say, some of the parents that have operated in wisdom didn't want to give certain inheritance to their children to a certain time because they already know if they get hold to it too early, it's going to be over.
Yes, sir.
You're going to waste it and everything else.
Yes, sir.
And be worse off. So they'll wait. It's okay, well, you can get this certain money in a certain amount of time over a period of time. Just like they do with some of them athletes. You got so many $1 million over a period of your contract. You ain't getting it all at once. Yes, sir. See, they spread that thing out over those, 7 years, 1.5 billion, whatever. Over a period of 7 years, means you getting a certain amount over a period of time. You ain't getting it all up front. You been bailed out.
Exactly. The contract.
Yeah. See that, and that's where it is. See, you're gonna get the Lord is gonna bless us along the way. You're gonna go through. And I like how when he dealt with the Israelites, and when he told them, we're gonna stop. We just kind of, just encouraging today. We ain't getting nothing seriously heavy, but we go back to Exodus, 3rd chapter. And say the thing is, even with all of us, the Lord will give word about something. And so that's the thing. First, you must hear the word. And that word, like in Hebrews, it's got to be mixed with faith. Whatever the Lord. We ain't talking about somebody to just be talking, because the Lord can bring to pass anything he said. But we have to do like the Hebrews writer said. We got to say the gospel's preached to them, the Old Testament Israelites, but it said the word did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. See, you can't be like, well, the Lord says something, well, I'm going to believe it when I see it. It ain't going to happen.
It ain't going to happen. Not even.
See, you got to believe before you see. And that's the way the Lord is. See, once the Lord brings a word, then that word's got to get in you in such a way to cause you, the way you look on things, it's got to be changed, all of that. But we might say seeing is believing, or you got to believe to see.
Thank you. Thank
See,
you.
so when he gave the word to the Israelites, it says here, I believe it's Exodus 3 and verse 7. Start at verse 7, what is it?
And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows.
All right, then what he said in 8.
And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a good land, and a large, and to a land of flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
All right, see here. All right, see here's the thing where number one, the Lord sees what's going on. A lot of times people think, man, the Lord ain't seeing this. That's why people doing a lot of stuff they doing. They think God don't see them.
They think they have.
See, they say the Lord, see the scripture says in Psalm, the eyes of the Lord in every place, beholding the evil and the good. See, people think the Lord ain't seeing nobody. That's because things say, man, if God see that, then why he let that? Ain't nothing about what he let. See, you got free will.
Come on.
See, we got to understand that you got a choice. You can go, let's say you can be on I-40 walking, but you ain't got no business. All right, so you decide you're going to cross I-40 on both sides of the highway going and coming. All right, there's a chance you might get hit. All right, that's your choice. You chose to walk over there. Didn't you? All right, that's your choice.
Risky. Yes,
All right, exactly. The risks involved, you know, you might not have been thinking, something might have been on your mind heavily. You don't care, or whatever it might be. But we're saying you got the choice. I can go over there and open that door. You know, I got the power. You know, I can walk right over there and open that door. That's my choice. So that's what we're saying. The evils are happening in the world because people choose to do evil. Right? So in the case like that, there's a situation where the Lord intervenes on situations, but in cases where evil is going on every day,
yes, sir.
all right, so people got a choice to do evil. Now you will reap that evil, you know, the fruit of your doing from doing whatever. And even that is not an overnight thing. See, people just figure, you know, we get mad with people, fall out with people and whatnot, wanting to see something happen to them swiftly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's like, all right, yo, yeah, you on your way, buddy.
That's it.
I want to say. See, and that's how we look at it. We, you know, we say with the Lord don't work that way. A lot of times, you know, somebody could have a change of mind and repent. See, because one thing about the Lord, we find out, I'm sure many people can say,